Good morning, everyone. This episode is brought to you from my back porch. Gonna have some coffee and talk about some questions. Today's question of the week comes from Cynthia. She says, "Hello, Kate. My name is Cynthia. Like you, I'm a single mom as well. I'm currently loving your show because I can relate to you in so many ways. I'm in the process of obtaining my bachelor's degree, congratulations, and to someday buy my own home for me and my son. How did you determine how much you can spend on a home considering it is only your income? How much of a down payment do you plan on putting down for a home? Do you plan on paying a home in cash? How long do you plan on paying for the house? 15 years, 30 years? Also, what are the things that you look for in a home? Do you look on buying a fixer-upper home, a ready-to-move-in home? I hope you get to my question. Love, Cynthia." Great question, Cynthia. I'm actually going to start at the bottom of that list, which was, what was I looking for in a home? I was looking for a move-in ready, turnkey home, ideally. I didn't know if that was going to happen. I have no experience with tearing up floors, even, basic painting. Like, I am not a DIY kind of gal. There are some of you that are so creative, and I have some friends that are so creative, and they're just like, oh, that's an easy fix, no problem. You just have to. I'm not a DIY kind of person, and I just have no knowledge of it. And yes, I could get more knowledgeable, but when you're a single parent raising a kid, full-time job, plus YouTube, plus everything else, it would have been ideal to not have to. And thank the good Lord, that is what happened. I did get a move-in ready house and didn't have to do anything. My list of things that I wanted in a home, Cynthia, I don't know if you caught my video in December. In December, me and Kaden did a video on our dream home because we were daydreaming one day and we just thought we'd record it. So I'll leave that up here so that you guys can watch and see what we really wanted back then. And then I will just go through the quick checklist right now of did we get it. The first thing was 2 toilets. Check. We got it. Oh, I'm going to do what Kaden does. When it's good, it's thumbs up. When it's bad, it's thumbs down. And when it's middle ground, I'm going to put it in the middle here. Okay, 2 toilets. Big bathtub. No. Got a normal bathtub. In my mind, the ideal one was one of those like luxurious ones with jets and like a little shelving around it so you could put candles and maybe your glass of wine. I don't have a tub like that, but it's a normal size tub. I'll take it. But no, not as far as like the dream version. His and her sinks with a vanity for storage. Okay, so we did not get the his and her. As you saw in my tour, it's just a regular sink, both of them. But they both have vanities, so they both have storage. So it's kind of like this, but more this because it was not. I don't know. Okay, high ceilings. Check. Garage. Check. Fireplace we had thrown in as kind of like an extra ideal one, and that's a no. Although there is a place where we could hook up one if we ever chose to in the future, but I'm in no hurry to change a thing. The next thing on our list was new home, new everything. We wanted everything inside to be as new as possible, less chance of things breaking down. Again, this was ideal. This was like our dream list. And actually that happened. The entire inside is renovated. Everything is new inside. New stove, new refrigerator, a dishwasher, all that stuff is all new. Fresh paint, fresh flooring, new heating system, which was really great. So yes, that's a yes. Sorry, I'm looking at my little list over here. For me, a big closet with built-in shelves. And that's actually a yes. It wasn't a walk-in closet, but I don't think I had specified that. This one, you open it up and there's shelves built in already, which is great. I'm working on that right now, trying to get my clothing organized in a way that I like. An upstairs and a downstairs. Check. We've got that. Dishwasher. Oh, actually, these last 2 I don't think were in the video, but these were 2 added ones. Dishwasher, yes, and the last thing was living in my hometown, living in where we live now, so Kaden can continue going to school here. Again, we didn't mention it in that video. I did just mention it in my video that I just talked about, the 7 things I didn't expect when buying a house. If you missed that, I'll leave that up here also. But we are in the city that we were hoping to be in, so check. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of that question, which was, how did I determine how much I was going to spend on a house? Honestly, this, again, based on when I started looking and realizing how much this was actually going to cost, it was not what I was expecting. So how did I determine it? If you watch that video of mine, the video where I announced that I was finally buying a house, doing the faux budget over and over and tweaking and adjusting, that is what helped me make my final decision of what I could afford and what I couldn't. And like I said, I overestimated on everything, and I had to really shimmy into, does this make sense? And if I was feeling uncomfortable, I had to go back and adjust, and I had to keep the faux budget, Cynthia. Honestly, if I hadn't done that, I would not be comfortable right now. Like, it really, really helped me. So please watch that video if you didn't watch it. You have to do, there's obvious things that are going to help dictate how much you can spend. But if I would have spent what my loan was approved for, yes, I could technically afford that, but I would have been house poor in a millisecond. So you don't want to just go with what the loan says you can afford. It's a suggestion. And I also want you guys to know that you might be bombarded by what other people think is the way you should buy a house. Don't listen to them, okay? There are some people that are experts, obviously, that know what they're talking about. But when it's your own personal situation, you might think you're going to do it one way. Like, for example, I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, and I follow a lot of the stuff he does. But in order to buy a house the way he suggests, there's no way. I would have had to have a down payment of over $50,000. And then to do the 15-year, and when I was first looking for a house, I was like, I'm going to do it the Dave Ramsey way. I'm going to figure this out. There's no way for me that would have happened in a time that would have made sense. Like, it would have taken me years and years, and I didn't have that kind of time. I know that you guys know a little bit, but my living situation was not good where I was. My landlord, who is a family member, was treating me really, really poorly, worse than I've ever been treated by anyone in my life, and it was urgent that we got out. I wish I could tell you more about that situation, but honestly, it doesn't make me feel good to talk badly about someone else, especially a family member, even though, oh man, the beginning started off okay when I first started living there, and then it got progressively worse. And in the last year, really bad. I'm going to digress on that just because it doesn't make me feel good talking bad about other people, especially a family member. But just know it was some of the worst times of my entire life. And I'm just so, so grateful to be out. Well, hope I didn't just put a damper on your Monday. But anyway, moving on. Back to the questions. Did I pay cash for the house? No. I admire people that can do that. That is amazing. And by the way, when I'm talking about the Dave Ramsey stuff, I'm not discrediting that isn't the best way. He's saying put 20% down so you can avoid PMI and do a 15-year mortgage. And he was like, they're always like, do the math. Yes, of course the math makes sense. If you can do that, awesome. If you are in a position where you can do it that way, that might work for you. I'm not in that position, guys. And I had been saving for almost 7 years. So it's like, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm comfortable with the decision I made. So by the way, guys, when you're listening to me and you're hearing how I did it, please don't in the comments say, you should have done this, you should have done that. It's done. It's done. And you know me, and you know I'm only going to do with what I'm comfortable with. So just know I did the best I could with what I have currently. And, in the future, I might see things differently, but for now, And because of my particular situation, I just feel like 100% did the right thing. And I know other people will think I didn't do it the right way and I should have done this, I should have done that. It's done. It's done and we're here. So please be respectful of that. And I understand that other people do it other ways and other people might think the way I did it is not the way. And I don't want you thinking that the way I did it is necessarily the way you should do it. But if you're asking what I did, I'm telling you, right? Okay. So the other big question, how much of a down payment was I planning on? This number that I had in my mind also changed quite a bit when I realized how much more the house was going to be than I had thought in my mind. Again, if you watch that video, you know, I just didn't realize what things cost to that degree. And secondly, another huge thing that happened was because of COVID, I suddenly was rethinking my emergency fund. So I had my emergency fund set aside and I was been saving for my down payment, right? And then all of a sudden, when COVID hit and I realized people can lose their jobs, we're going to be home a lot. Like there's a lot of stuff that changed. I thought, I feel like I need my emergency fund to be a little beefier. So I actually allocated some of the down payment stuff that I was going to do and moved it over to juice up my emergency fund. Okay. So then I still had, you guys know I don't give exact numbers, but let's say roughly 20 grand, right? That I was planning on putting down. When I did the math and I went over it with my mortgage broker and in just my own, all the numbers, this is going to sound again shocking, but I decided we went with a loan that was 0 down, which I know some people will have a problem with, but again, here I am. And I ended up keeping that money in my pocket because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow right now, you guys. And I feel like that made me feel better. And I know some of you right now are like, you didn't put a down payment? I didn't. And I've kept that money and I did have to still do closing costs, of course, but I feel like my payment is in a place where I'm comfortable. I feel like now my emergency fund is set up even better and I have money for when ish goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're a homeowner, there's going to be stuff that you're going to need. And again, it's just where I'm comfortable at. So I did 0 down and I have a 30-year mortgage, probably all the things that people complain about, but that's what I did. And that's what I'm comfortable with. Cynthia, on a personal note, single mom to single mom, I would say take your time and make sure it's a place where you feel very comfortable for you and your son, because it's a huge decision. And I've only been here for a few days now, so I don't even have a ton of time to reflect on what really just happened. I'm feeling very, it's very unsettling at first when you first move in, but it's also very liberating. And I feel very happy right now, but it's also, it's kind of like recovering from my past situation. It feels like pinch me, it's not real kind of a thing. But if you're in a situation where if you're renting right now, I'm assuming you're renting right now and it's a good situation, I could have probably gone a lot longer on the renting. And I know there's lots of debate of renting versus owning. I could probably do a video on that in the future if you want to know. I haven't owned long enough to really tell you the pros of owning yet. So I could down the line maybe talk more to that when I have more time under my belt. But renting for me, besides my own personal horror show, was a fine thing for me for a very long time. If it's okay with you, renting is fine until you find the home that you really want, because you don't want to buy a home that you don't want to live in. This house, I don't want to move for a very long time. And I know that's easy to say when you just moved in, but take your time, Cynthia, and be saving and be diligent and be going over that faux budget and make sure your numbers all work so that you are comfortable with your decision. And I'm really excited for you. And congratulations on getting your bachelor's degree coming up. You're working really hard and all your hard work is gonna pay off. My question of the week to all of you, if you already are a homeowner, what is the one thing you wish you still had in your house that you didn't get when you got your house, or like as you've lived there, you thought, geez, I really wish I would have built that pool, or I really wish I would have had a dishwasher, whatever it is. And if you're a renter, what is the thing that you most look forward to when owning a home, if you ever want to own a home? Or if you're a renter and you love renting and you never want to own a home, let us know in the comments too. Cynthia, thank you so much for your question. I hope this was helpful. If you're watching this and you have some questions you'd like to ask that you'd like me to address on the Questions with Kate show, please email me at katecadenchannel@gmail.com. Thank you so much. I will see you on Friday for Frugal Friday. Bye, guys. Hey, Buns. Hi, baby.